When we picture the Transfiguration, we imagine three disciples, Peter, James, and John, standing on the mountain, watching as the glory of God shines through Jesus. We've heard this story many times, but have we ever stopped to ask, who were those three that were chosen to stand on that mountain and why? Consider this. The Gospels were written decades after the events they describe. They reflect not only memory, but also development. And I'll explain this in a moment. See, because the earlier followers of Jesus, the early followers of Jesus, remembered him not through photographs or recordings, but through stories shaped by the growing communities of faith. And those communities had to decide who carried Jesus' light after he was gone. Paul, writing long before the Gospels, gives us a glimpse. Writing in 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 7, we read, "Then he appeared to James." Now that's striking. James, the brother of Jesus, personally named among the early witnesses to the resurrection, a sign of his unique standing within the first community of believers. Now, Paul isn't giving us a strict timeline here. He is reciting a confession that has already become really a sacred tradition. And in that tradition, James stands shoulder to shoulder with Peter in and among the apostles. From that moment forward, the brother who once doubted, as the Gospels inform us, would actually become the pillar of the assembly in Jerusalem. And in all, really, in a matter of weeks. Is there something we're not quite getting here? Here's a question. When the Gospels speak of the inner circle, the ones who saw his glory, Peter, James, and John, could they be remembering in veiled form James the Just, Jesus' own brother, as one of those figures, those three figures? See, because at the cross or the stake, the site of the execution, Jesus entrusts the care of his mother to, quote, the disciple whom he loved. Not to Peter, not to John, but to someone standing right there beside her. Does this not raise a profound question? See, would Jesus have committed his mother to anyone outside the family? Especially when James the Just was alive. Could it be time, really, for us to look again at those stories? See, not to doubt them in any way, but to listen more deeply to what they may still be whispering to us. Who were the three mysterious names in the apostles' listing, especially James, the son of Alphaeus? When we read the listing, what questions are raised? Luke chapter 6 and verses 13 through to 16 tells us something. See, when daylight came, he called his disciples to him and chose 12 of them, whom he also designated as apostles. Simon, whom he named Peter, and his brother Andrew, James and John, Philip and Bartholomew, Matthew and Thomas, James, son of Alphaeus, and Simon called the Zealot, and Judas, son of James, and Judas Iscariot, who became a traitor. Now, next time we will trace the evidence in Scripture from the mountain of the Transfiguration to the very heart of the early congregation to ask something, to ask whether James, the Lord's brother, was not only a leader, but the very one whom Jesus loved. Now, why is this important? Well, let's find out in our next video. And so, thank you, and see you next time.